It's time. Hello everyone. Hi YouTube. So I'm gonna go over the changes made to Young Link in 7.0. Is Young Link finally top tier? Is he finally worth putting all the effort into? What are his problems? What are his potential matchups that have gotten better? You know, just kind of what is his place in the meta, and will I play him? Because I've actually always liked Young Link, but there were some problems which we'll talk about. But before that, so few people are subbed to my channel. I am almost at 150k. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are 700 away from 150k, where I'll do a full like Q&A or recaps on my YouTube history. I need to find the analytics where you can see like how many people are subbed. See this? Not subscribed, 63%, and that's watch time. That's not even, you know, clicks. This is like the worst ratio I've ever seen when someone pulled this shit up. Don't look at the gender, okay? All right, we're a diverse community here in the Left Lounge. Anyway, that's all the shilling I got. No sponsors, nothing. Just sub if you feel like it. If you want to see more content like this. All right, so first off, I thought we'd go into where I thought Young Link was before the patch. So before the patch, I tried him and I felt a very strong sense of he wasn't worth it. When playing against good players, you know, he just had to work slightly too hard in many matchups. I remember playing against Gluttony, against Maru, against Armada, and it was just really hard against very, very good players to both outplay them fundamentally and then also convert properly, do all of Young Link's complicated stuff. You know, I never put like months or anything into a character, but I did put like a solid 2-3 weeks into him. And, you know, that was a very long time ago, maybe like almost a full year, maybe like 9 months. So I've changed my opinion a bit about the game, but I would say that before the patch, Young Link was like a high effort, top of mid tier, bottom of high tier character. The problems I said, and people are spamming in chat, is Young Link kills late, rough recovery, bomb/back, they're inconsistent. Good, but very hard. Not worth the work you have to put in. One of the things I will add to that is it's very, very hard to play him online. And since I do most of my practice online, it was very painful for me to play him, you know, as my main character. Especially because it's not that Young Link is way worse than online. It's more that you just have to play like this. You know, like this is all you do. You just spam projectiles and you do nothing else. Whereas offline, he can be played much more offensively. And that's the playstyle I want. I don't want to, you know, shoot arrows forever. I want to be actually be able to go in and do shit. However, I felt like after playing Mr. R and seeing, you know, his Young Link was definitely better than mine and a lot later, he really just showed me that the characters, you know, it's meant to play really campy. And this is kind of how you're supposed to play him. But come 7.0, now he's got a lot of new buffs, which we'll go through. And notably, none of the buffs were to his projectiles, which I think is awesome. I really like the way they're taking the character. So before we go through anything, his recovery is still bad. The main problem with Young Link's recovery is not necessarily short range. He's actually very good at recovering short range. Well, I fucked up. But tether is really, really good. It does have shorter range, as you can see, than some other tethers. But it's still a very good tether. And you can cancel it to up B. You know, you can up B with no double jump. You have the bomb recovery where you air dodge and then up B, it explodes, and then you recover, yeah. Now, his up B can be beat by a lot of attacks from above. You can kind of see that in the beginning, it's very horizontal. It doesn't cover his top at all. So a lot of characters in the beginning can beat it by falling on top of him with a nair, such as Wolf Nair, Palutena Nair, and down airs. But yeah, I think that was fair overall. It's just the problem is that when you kill late and you have stubby limbs and all of his other problems, having a slightly worse recovery, especially when he has no double jump, like being gimpable and edge guardable whatsoever in Ultimate is a massive problem, because the average character, unless the opponent gets lucky with like 2-framing 3 times in a row, or like gets a random spike, or the opponent just fucks up off stage, you're generally not getting edge guarded. Outside of matchup specific things such as like Joker counter, some projectiles like spike wall and stuff like that. Now, let's get into the changes, you know, the exciting stuff. His up smash is 10 frames to start up, covers spot dodge because it's a multi-move. You know, it's fast, you can do it while running. So it just always felt like it barely didn't kill. If you watched Tweak play Young Link back in the day, it was just like almost did it not kill. And so this move has been buffed. This is against midweights. It kills at 111 instead of 123. So it's a 12% buff. That's not a huge amount when you think about it like that, but it does significantly help, especially when you factor in rage, you factor in up smashing of a platform, lower ceilings, you know, all that stuff. And because Young Link has several confirms to up smash, like you can do air tech chase, you can do fair and back air, as well as juggle through like this, cover landing. You can get bombs through up smash. Just in general, you can ledge trap with it because it's 10 frames. You know, just land in a lot of different ways. Now, the big thing is that because the aerial confirms you do here, unlike Joker's, which is actually unsafe on shield, Young Link is only -2. So fair 1 or back air 1 are both very, very safe confirms. And they both true combo at the relevant percents. If I stop sucking for a combo. So that's a big deal, right? Like one of the main kill tools are now significantly stronger. 12% might not sound that much, but over 3 stocks, that's 36%. Having to deal 36% less, that's a fucking big deal, right? Next up, we have up air. Up air also kills 11% earlier, and that's from in the middle of the stage. Now kills, in this situation, at 145 instead of 156. Now, this matters a lot because you can combo into upper in many, many different ways, and it's his main juggling tool. Both hits of the upper are also stronger, so weak hit and strong hit are better. So not only do you have like down tilt up air, which now kills at 111, you can also mix up their DI on this one by running a little bit further like that, so it can kill even earlier. You have arrows. Ooh, that's really bad. Yeah, you have arrows. Wait, oh no, it's not a weak hit. But this is what you would do. You have boomerang into arrow into up air, true combo. You have bombs into arrow. You have boomerang into bomb into up air. You have down throw, air dodge mix up up air. You know, a lot of really strong follow-ups into up air. And then there's one which I actually think is maybe the most stupid one of these, which is up B into up air. As you see, a combo does 32% damage. And this is actually a massive kill confirm window from an 8 frame startup that also covers spot dodge, and which you can also combo into, you know, through this one or that one. And you can also ledge trap, cover several options. And this will kill even earlier if you get like a fair drag down up B on a platform. Now, the thing is, with this one, you can actually DI out of this combo, but because it's essentially random, and people have tested this a lot, which way the up B sends, it can be extremely hard for the opponent to know which way to DI. So what that means is you basically have a RNG based 50-50 kill confirm at like that 30-40% window on some characters, which is obviously a massive thing. And this also opens up some kill confirms. Not only can you do down tilt up B, but I've also messed around with things such as that. You can't call it problems. Yeah. Which actually kills really early. I think you can maybe kill around here. Yeah. And, you know, there's just a lot of potential with the character to kill now that wasn't previously there. There's one more change, but before that, I'd actually get into kind of a complaint with these things, which is a lot of people have been saying, you know, the buffs are nice, but they don't change his playstyle. Now, I actually don't agree with that much, because one of Youngling's main problem was because his upper was so weak, he had trouble actually getting through the mid percent. So at this percent, for example, he would get a grab, and he can combo to upper, but you see how it's still, even now, right? It's a little bit weak. They don't go that far, but that a little bit of extra height really actually helps in trying to set up juggle situations, you know, up airing, getting down, and getting in place for the next up air or whatever you want to do, like the next juggle, right? That's more of a quality of life improvement in some ways, but on heavier characters, I actually think this matters a lot, where you can finally like up air them without instantly having to shield because they're gonna fall on top of you with a, you know, aerial. So that's always nice, and obviously the more uppers you can keep on doing, you know, they just keep stringing into themselves, and that will eventually maybe lead to a kill. Right. So yeah, I just like to add that one, that going for uppers now through combos, from down throws, as tank chases, you know, it's a little bit better. And you don't have to worry as much because even the weak hit is now a little bit stronger. You know, that's what I've heard at least, and it seems to be true. Because the patch notes say outright that like upper has just gotten stronger, not the strong hit of the upper. Next up, we have one more kill change, which is forward throw. Forward throw will kill 35% earlier in the middle of the stage. And with the DI, this will not be as significant. It's a very DI-able throw. But as you can see, it can kill at this percent. One good thing about this throw is it's kind of like Sam's up throw, where it can be very hard to react to getting grabbed in time. Now, will you want to have them at 150? Not necessarily, but it does create a very good mix-up where they have to watch out for fair up smash, and even Nair starts killing at this percent. Having that, and then, you know, instead of going for the fair, you just do empty land forward throw, is a very, very good mix-up to have in those rare cases where you just can't kill them. It's probably his least significant change in terms of killing, but it's still very nice to have, especially if you can catch them DIing out, which is very common. One thing I do sometimes is I pummel them once, or I pretend like I'm gonna pummel them. Like I do this and then just throw just a little bit of a weight. What this can do is it can make people want to mash, because forward throw will eventually kill, right? So they start spinning the stick, and if you're lucky, you catch them when they're holding either up or out, which will make the forward throw kill even earlier than it should. The other thing outside of just being able to kill a little bit earlier is actually that at the percents where down throw and up throw upper stops comboing at maybe this percent. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. Oh yeah, you can DI out of this one. It's kind of hard for me to show. I will do it just to show that I'm not a fraud, that I'm right about this. But you can see that like I'm not going to be able to get that one in time, right? Now, this is what's good about it, right? At this percent 90, or maybe even like it stops comboing early, like maybe 65, right? Before, all you really had was up throw, hope they missed the DI, or down throw, and then you try to go for a juggle. And again, his upper isn't the best still, so this is not like a super strong position or anything. It's a decent one, but it's not a super strong one. And what you can do now is, because the forward throw is so much stronger base knockback, you can just throw them off. You do it, you throw them off, pull a bomb, you know, you set it up, and you have a really, really strong ledge trap situation all of a sudden, where normally you would just, you know, barely get them to the edge, or maybe only get slight stage advantage. Actually having this and just having more time to set up, you can also go for, you know, forward throw into arrows, into an edge guard, and so on. It's just really nice. It's not the biggest change, but I think it really does help his game plan transition from that low percent combos and then kind of struggling at the mid percents and kill percents. He got something that helps him at all percents. You have up air, up smash at kill percent, and also up air and forward throw at mid percents, where now that they're better juggles. Next up, we have a change that I think is very overlooked, actually. If you look at Youngling's frame data, he actually has top ass tier frame data in almost every way. Spot dodge, roll, he even has a good dash speed. His one and only problem was that his jab started at 6 frames. Now, that's not a massive problem for some characters, but for a character like Youngling with a lot of short range, it was actually a really big deal, I think. Because not only does he have short range, so he will be close to you, but a lot of his aerials, right? Nair, fair, back air, they're all -3. What that means is that most of the time when you're hitting a character on shield, or when you're just like getting a weak hit, what you want to do with Youngling was almost always spot dodge before. And you know, spot dodge good, especially spot dodge cancel down tilt, but because he didn't have a great option out of spot dodge, like not a super fast one, it was still a little bit predictable, not as strong as it could have been. And just in general, he really struggled with getting out of pressure situations when Nair wasn't a good option. Nair to shield is only 7 frames out of shield, but it does not always work, you know? So one of the main problems essentially was that he could get in these great situations that every other character would love to be in, being -2, -3 on shield, which is essentially being in the advantage, but he couldn't actually stay offensive after that. It was almost like he was -6, -5 because he had no other good option other than spot dodge. So what the opponent would do was they would shield the Nair, and then right after, all they had to do was, you know, shield grab or wait and then shield grab. And that was a really, really strong option against that. With this jab change, there's actually a very, very big difference in what will happen in this situation. So you do Nair, he shields it. And here's the thing, right? I'm gonna try to shield grab with Paolo, 7-frame grab. And I'm gonna jab with Young Link. Barely, you know, it's barely, but it's significant still. Young Link will get the jab out before Paolo gets the grab out. And this can actually happen for many Nair style shields. I think Paolo Nair also gets stuffed. And this is not only with Nair, this is weak Nair, this is fair, and it's side B. Side B point blank is actually ridiculously safe. It's -4 on shield point blank, which is just ridiculous. It basically means that you can't shield grab him nearly as well anymore. Zair is also only -2, -3 most of the time. So there's just a lot of situations that previously you couldn't really pressure after that you now have a much stronger mix-up. You don't only have the spot dodge or hold shield, you have an offensive option. And it's really good because jabs in this game, because you can stagger them on shield, even if they read that you're gonna shield and they, you know, they shield this and then they do that, you can still mix up how you want to time the rest of the string. Whether you want to do all 3 jabs, whether you want to do the gentleman, or you want to do 1 grab, 1 2, 1 2 3. You know, there's a lot of different options you can do with jabs in this game, and because of the buffer system as well, it's very, very easy to catch someone trying to roll, trying to narrow the shield by just slightly delaying the jabs. The jab does a decent amount of damage, and it sets up for the rest of his game plan. I just think it's a very, very important tool for his low percent specifically. There's a lot of times with Young Link where you don't get a strong hit, you get kind of this hit, and previously jab wouldn't combo most of the time, whereas this time, although it might not always true combo, essentially it helps his mix-up game significantly, because the only thing they can do to not get hit by a weak Nair jab is to shield. And again, jab is semi-safe on shield, it's a mix-up, and that means you can now instead do weak Nair grab as a like almost true 50-50 mix-up, since spot dodge will be covered by jab as well. You can also do fair 1 jab true combo even at 0, back air 1 jab true combo at 0. There's like a lot of different situations where you won't necessarily have the best combo, but having the jab to easily react and get, you know, 23 damage is a whole hell of a lot more than nothing. Because of the buffer system, you know, you don't have to time it. You can go for every combo that's a 1-frame link in this game. You can just go by holding down the button. And because Young Link uses Nair, uses fair, and back air so much, these situations come up a lot at low percents, where you will Nair them out of shield, and you won't really have time to do anything else than jab. But see, that comboed. It might not have comboed before. And it just makes it a lot easier for him to play around this mid percents in a way that's not just straight projectile camping. Kind of makes him a lot more practical and fun to play offensively, especially. Another nice thing that I didn't mention is that his jab slides, so you can do this as an approach instead of dash attack. His dash attack is kind of mediocre, or honestly pretty bad. But now you have dash up jab, which is significantly faster now. As you see, you can see he kind of slides over there. But yeah, it's a very, very nice quality of life change. It helps him frame data. It helps him. You can basically parry jab punish every single thing in the game, where you could not do that. You didn't have a punish for some moves that were -2, whereas most characters have parry grab to punish moves that are -3, -4. Young Link didn't have that because his grab is slower, right? So just having that parry jab punish is so nice. Now let's go to the last change, and I actually think this might be the biggest change. His Zair. Zair is now a lot longer. It has a different knockback. Mid-air grab, this is the increased attack speed, so it's faster now. It's 2 frames faster. It has 4 frames more hit stun. It has a better launch angle. And then also, he has a bigger shield size. which many characters have, but it's still nice for him not to get shield poked anymore. Here, let me show you. Yeah, it's slightly bigger. It's not the biggest shield, still a very nice buff. And yeah, his Zair is significantly longer now, has more hit stun, has more, it's faster startup, 8 frames instead, which means you can actually like reactively jump around, think, should I shoot an arrow? Should I do an arrow? Should I double jump? Should I land? And then just decide to Zair on the way down. Whereas before it was way harder. And the added range really helps as well. This, in my opinion, kind of completes his game plan against some characters. It's a little bit rough to hit on short characters. It doesn't beat a lot of moves still, but it is still a very nice change to throw out every now and then. It's not the thing you throw out all the time, but for a character which main problem was lack of range, having one far range move, even if it's not the best move, is still a massive thing. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, is just the outright reward. It only does 5 damage, right? But at basically all percents, you get an amazing combo. So at all percents, you can do run up down tilt, you can do grab, you can do F smash, you can do dash attack, you can do dash up B. I mean, you can do basically anything. And it's such a big deal. If you can learn to use it properly, this change will be maybe the single biggest change Younglink gets. So at low percents, my advice is go for down throw. Younglink has really good down throw combos once you learn them. They can be a little bit hard to land online, but trust me, once you learn them, you'll get a lot of damage from Zair just by going for a down throw. You can definitely look at the better Younglinks for more optimal combos for this shit. Yeah, you have a lot of combos, right? And like honestly, Younglink does a lot of damage with his low percent combos. Whether it's through down throw or up B, his backers, when you can string them, just honestly does a lot of damage. Like that's 45.8 damage. That's a lot of damage from such a far range move. Zair is also -3 on shield, so it's practically always safe, and you can always Zair jab before they can grab as well. I really think this change helps his low percent, mid range, and high percent game out, because what he can do at high percents is also amazing. At this percent, you can do dash up B, can work, but dash up smash is the biggest one. The fact that this kills now and that this combos is just amazing. The opponent can sometimes DI this in a way where it makes it a little bit harder, but most of the time, even with DI, this will work. And it's a one-hit move that starts in 8 frames, so you can't really react to it either. And you can also do moves like this, like, yeah, it's just really fucking nice to be able to have a Zair that combos well. That's actually all of the changes. Now, let's try to answer the question. Is Younglink top tier now? I don't know. It's honestly too early to tell exactly how big these changes will be. I think they're really big. I don't agree whatsoever when people say these are just quality of life changes. No, I think Younglink might be the character outside of Shoto's, like the single most buffed character outside of Shoto's. Shoto's didn't get as buffed in any single patch, but they did get buffed several times. So yeah, I think this not only might be the character that got buffed the most in terms of just like pure strength change, but also Younglink was never bad. So this actually might be one of the most impactful changes for the meta. And might be, we don't know, but if people decide to play him like Tweak, it might actually, you know, change performance results significantly. Now, another thing that I want to mention is that a lot of top tiers that Younglink struggled with have been nerfed throughout, you know, the different patches. Wolf used to be a really hard matchup. He got nerfed 3 times. Palutena, yeah, the character we're playing against, in this patch recently got significantly nerfed. And actually nerfed in a way that kind of matters too. She can no longer down throw back air as a kill confirm, which used to work against Younglink. Nair now does not kill nearly as easily, and B is a very easy target to run off a Nair for her. So that changes a lot. Now, there's other matchups that got nerfed, which might not have been Younglink's worst, but are still nice. Like Joker got nerfed, CSS got nerfed. So those are really nice things too. But I actually think one of the things that might help him the most and might help him appear the most in the meta is that many people are now saying that Peach is one of, if not the single best characters right now. And Young Link was a character that people said, even before the patch, had an even matchup with Peach. And now he might honestly win. And having a winning matchup on, you know, the best character is honestly a really good trait to have for any character. I'm not sure how he does against Pikachu. I actually think he might do fine against Pikachu, since he does have good out of shield game. He, you know, he can play around Pikachu's a bit better than most characters. But he does get edge guarded. That's the main problem. But yeah, overall, I think he's just gonna buff very significantly. You know, it is maybe not a single change that will help him a fuck ton, but I think there's a lot of small changes that will eventually add up. Now, to the question that maybe some people are asking is, will I play him? So for me, I'm not really sure where I am competitively with Ultimate. Two of my main gripes with Young Link still stand, however, despite him being significantly stronger. And those are, one, inconsistencies. We already talked about the up B, right? Up B being a 50-50 kill confirm. I hate RNG. I really don't like that it's pseudo random, you know, whether or not the up B goes forward or backwards. It's so stupid in my opinion. To add to that, another kill confirm tool he has, bombs, are also essentially randoms in many situations. They can send both forward and backwards, as you see there. And while it's technically possible to figure out which way the opponent's gonna go in both up B and bombs, practically with 76 characters, different hurtbox animations, you know, the bomb works differently when you throw it like that versus from an arrow. It's just really sucks. Even when playing against Ramen, another great Young Link player, he also says that it's essentially random whether or not it will go to the left or the right. And you just kind of have to hope. Right there, I hope for the reverse one. That time, I hope for the forward one. And yeah, it's just really annoying to get the kill, but not get the combo because the game decided to, you know, inconsistently choose which way the opponent was gonna go. There's another gripe I have with Young Link, and that's simply he's just really annoying to have to fight. And I don't like playing characters where even if I'm having fun throwing projectiles, you know, arrow, bomb, major down air, and stuff like that. You know, I like playing fighting games and characters that where even when the opponent's losing, they have a good time. Even when I'm massively outplaying them, they can say, man, that was fun. In some of Young Link's matchups, unfortunately, this is what you're going to be doing a lot. You know, you're going to throw a lot of projectiles, and that's just the way it is. However, if I enjoy him enough, I might be able to get over this. Sadly enough, there's not too many top tiers that a lot of people love fighting, and some of the characters that, you know, people don't mind as much often end up getting nerfed, such as Joker and Wolf. Yes, I know, you know, Reddit probably hates fighting both those characters because they were common, but among top competitors, both those characters are generally more well liked than, say, a Pac-Man or a Rob, which, while more rare, are a lot more annoying to fight. Anyway, I think that's kind of sums it up. I'll definitely keep investigating, keep playing this character more, especially offline. So tune in, follow my Twitch on that, follow my Twitter if you have any more hot takes. Subscribe to YouTube again. I'm gonna have a Is Byleth bottom 10 video up next. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.